Hi guys, my name is bankole Akitujoye. I'm happy to be bringing you another episode of the Failures Diaries podcast. I am super excited because today we're bringing you the IWD edition. As you know that March is the month where we celebrate the amazing women in the world. And today on our podcast, we're having conversations that relate to the IWD. But before I introduce my guest, I want to introduce my ever radiant and amazing co-host, Precious Kate.
Thank you so
Precious
much.
is part of the women that we're celebrating. Happy Women's Day, Precious.
Thank you.
And happy Mother's Day too.
Thank you very much.
So today I'm introducing a very special friend. This is the first time that we're bringing a guest twice. This is the second time that we're hosting this person. And she's also the first public sector leader that we're hosting. Of course, we'll have a lot more, but she is the first public sector leader and she's coming twice. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join us to celebrate and welcome the ever dogged Oyindamola Egbeyemi.
Thank you very much for
welcome,
having me.
Oyin. It's good to have you here again. It's good to have you here again.
Thank
So,
you.
I mean, Oyin, your story at the first episode was very inspiring. I had a lot of people reach out to me and were like, "Wow, how did you go through all of that and still ended up being a director in a difficult place like public sector?" and that was why I had to bring you back because I remember that we touched slightly on some conversations around the challenges that women face.
Yep.
So I want us to laser focus a whole lot on that on this episode because we want to celebrate women, we want to encourage women. I see a lot increased dominance of men in the public sector, right? Yes. And I see that if we're not super deliberate, we would not achieve women inclusion as much as we want to. So let's start with your own journey in the public sector. How has it been for you as a woman, a young woman, a single woman? What do you see every day? What are the biggest barriers and obstacles to women in leadership in the public sector?
Okay, it's interesting that you made those three pronouncements. Young, it's not just young and young looking.
And young looking.
I'm young, but I look at least 10 years
younger.
younger.
Yes, you do look like you are 24, 25.
Yeah, I look like I'm in my 20s. So, yeah, young looking, unmarried woman. Those are...
I said single. You said unmarried.
Unmarried.
Oh, that's a new one.
Yeah, no, because some women are single and married. That's a whole other thing that we can talk about.
Did you just say single and married?
Single and married.
Okay, Oyin is taking us to where we don't know, man.
No, we're not going there today. But for as long as there's no ring on this finger, I mean, people already size you up. It's something... I'm very perceptive of people. I worked at a school for about 7 years. So I spent a lot of time reading people, reading children, reading their parents. So it's easy to understand what perceptions are. And I must say that I'm usually right. Because whenever I hear what people thought their first impressions of me were, I'm like, oh, I actually suspected you thought that way about me. But you were surprised when I, maybe performed. So I'm just like, why do we have these unconscious biases towards women, especially women who are soft-spoken as well? Also soft-spoken.
Yeah.
Soft-spoken. And it's something that has been a challenge for my entire career. People always think I'm the last born, but I'm actually the first. But I am treated like a princess at home.
Even I didn't know that you were the first.
Exactly. Yeah, so many people think...
Oh, my.
So
you're older than your brother?
I'm older than both my brothers. Yes. I am the eldest, but I think I have that privilege of being treated like, I would say, the princess or the queen of the home. So,
Queen of Zamunda.
I mean, so yes, it's, as a feminine woman, I would say it is quite tough working in leadership because you're doing all this hard work, but visibility is so important. It's almost more important than the actual work you do, which so for me sometimes is a shame because people just look at they just take account of what they see as opposed to the depth of the work that goes into everything that we do daily. I try to make my work meaningful. Sometimes the results don't yield immediately. They take some time to yield. Again, maybe this is from my educational background, whereby I say it's not just about maybe disbursing a loan. Yeah, disbursing a loan to a business, but has that business owner actually developed their skills in financial literacy? Have they actually learned bookkeeping? Are they going to be sustainable? Is that business going to exist? after 2 years. Small businesses usually fail within
Yeah.
the first
Yes, they
18
do.
months of establishment. Are we actually looking at how to establish a strong enough foundation that we see the impact in years to come? So that's the way I think about the work I do. But going back to the subject matter of how I essentially survive, I was struggling. I still am struggling, but it's just important to find the right resources to help you out. And you just have to be very open and humble enough to get access to help.
Okay.
One day I was having a conversation with one of my mentors, another woman, who said, "Oyi, you're working in a highly masculine environment,
Yeah.
but you don't want to lose your femininity. Your femininity is actually your gift. That is your power. What you need to do is learn how to use your femininity to get by. I'm going to recommend a coach to you." I've been working with a coach. His name is Daryl Seeger. I can recommend him to anyone who needs.
Daryl.
Hi, Daryl. I'm going to. I need to send this to Daryl
Yeah, you
because
should.
Yes.
he,
You
you know,
should.
he gets a lot of credit for the confidence I've been able to develop
Interesting.
in this sector. He's not even Nigerian, but he gets it because he specializes in feminine women leadership.
Mm.
And all he says is, look, it's a game. You know the game. You know how to put. You should know how to. You should learn how to push the right buttons.
Mm.
You should learn how to take opportunities for visibility and not take anything for granted. So even me coming here today, ideally I should have done like a video walking in. He's all about that because it's like many people are out there online doing nothing, but it
Yeah.
appears as though they're doing
They are
something.
doing a lot. And you that are doing a lot.
Whereas those of us who are like, I literally eat, dream, sleep, work,
Yeah.
and it doesn't get recognized. Even my voice during meetings sometimes it's almost shut down. Sometimes I find myself that
Mm.
I find that some idea that I would have proposed at a meeting perhaps a year ago would be pushed aside, and then someone else, maybe a man or a woman who's more vocal, will come up with the exact same idea
Hmm.
today, and it's like, yes, let's implement this. And I'll think, oh, but this is the same thing I've
That
been
I
saying
said.
for the longest time ever. You guys just chose not to listen because my voice is not loud and I'm not aggressive in that way.
But just
So,
hold your thought a second.
yeah.
I don't want to lose your chain of thought, but it just occurred to me that people complain when women are vocal that they are too aggressive. So what do we want from women then?
I don't know what we want from women, but I find that women have to be or have to appear to be that way in order to be heard. So those who might say you're too loud, it might just be maybe another complex in another way. I don't know what it is, but I find that even other women tell me that, oh, you're too quiet.
Usually you hear people say the woman in the room should be seen, not heard.
Mhm.
And then when you're seen and you don't speak, it's a problem.
Uh-huh.
How do you even
Mm.
handle this balance?
How do you balance?
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So are we supposed to be quiet or are we supposed to talk?
Yeah.
In your own field, how would you
I would
see that?
say, yeah, so I would say you need to apply a lot of wisdom to have presence.
Mm.
There's sometimes that you don't need to talk,
So
but you'll be noticed.
mm,
There are
Mm.
many rooms I walk into and I know that I'm noticed without having to say a word. Now, how do you take advantage of that and not be forgetful? So I think one thing is that women need to intentionally work to not be forgotten,
Mm.
so that the people, even if it's just your aura, people remember, when I was talking to this person, I felt a certain way. People say this about Michelle Obama all the time,
Yeah.
whereby it's like, you may not
A
remember,
calm, a presence.
she has presence. So you may not necessarily remember
everything
everything she has said,
Mhm.
but you remember the way you felt when she
When she
spoke.
spoke.
Yeah, and I feel like I have a bit of that as well because I don't like talking. I'm very much an introvert. I only talk when I'm comfortable with people. If I'm around friends I trust, I will talk. I'll go on and on and on and on and on and on and
Yeah.
on. Yeah, and it's never really a light conversation. Something that has some
Deep.
depth.
Mhm.
Yes, but you don't find yourself in those sort of situations
All the time.
all the time, especially in the public sector, where you're not even sure if it's appropriate to talk at a certain moment in time.
And the intention of who you're talking to.
Yes, exactly. So you don't even know who you're offending
Exactly.
with some of the words that you might say. So you need to be able to read the room. Again, another thing that's my board
Your
chair,
coach.
has so this is actually the chair of our board has
Okay.
mentioned read the room. I'm like, okay, you need to read the room, understand who the people in the room are, and know how to adjust what you're saying to suit that audience.
So would
But
you say this has
yeah.
been a struggle?
Oh yeah, it has been a
Because it's
struggle.
almost like it's so much work.
It's a
You
lot
have
of
to
work.
read the room, you have to be calm, you
Yeah.
have to be loud. I mean, that's a
There's so
lot.
many
Yeah,
rules that you
there's
guys
so
have to
many
deal
so
with.
many
rules, yeah.
so many rules, so many stakeholders, so many emotions. So you have to be like a chameleon. You have to adapt very, very quickly to the different audiences.
You're
I was
right.
telling you that I was coming from Apapa local government. I'm coming from Ojoko local government this morning.
When you
These
say
are
physically coming from there,
physically,
Yes.
I have been around today. Yeah.
from Apapa to Ojoko, I
I've
know
from
Ojoko. I
Ojokoro
used
to
to live there
Apapa.
years ago,
Yeah, so
and that's a mile away.
yeah. So I started at the office. So I was at the office at 8 o'clock. I left the office at 8:30. Got to Ojokoro at about nine-ish.
But I'm
And
sure you don't know where Ojoko is. Oh no, you should have an idea though.
I think
Ojoko
Yeah.
is really far, like on the way
it's
to
not that
Songo.
far.
What do you
On your way to
mean?
Songo.
If you were not in this road, I could bet you've never been there in your entire life.
No. No. This role has taken me
Yes,
from
to places you
Ojokoro
would never have
to
dreamt of.
Epe to
At least I know Ekpe.
Lekki. Yeah, I've been around.
Wow.
I've really been
So
around.
let's
Yeah.
talk about she said something very difficult, something interesting, that is it not a lot of work? And I'm
Yeah.
wondering in my head that when you then couple the fact that women have, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that women have natural biological challenges, days of
Mhm.
hormonal imbalance,
Mm.
and then you come to work and you now have to deal with all of this. How do you
Mm.
even cope with all of this? Like what's your coping mechanism?
Ah,
Because so that other women can know how to make for these
Navigate.
how
shifts.
to navigate. Look, it's the grace of God. I must just say that because I need to give it to women. We're very powerful because hormonally speaking, there are times where you you don't have as much control naturally, and you just have to learn how to control.
How do you
And
learn how to control?
I don't know how to teach it. Self-control is something that you just build. It's like muscle. It's like building muscle. You just every day you go in, it's a lot of mind work. You remind yourself that this is how I want the day to go. Regardless of what happens, these are the outcomes I want. Regardless of what happens, this is the way I want to behave. Regardless of what happens, this is what I want people to feel around me. I'm not going to lie, there's a time where I was almost, I would say, losing my mind, because when things don't work out the way you had planned for them to do so, especially when you know how good the outcome could be, and you also understand that the obstacles that prevented that outcome were very mundane, it becomes really frustrating. So yes, I have had a few moments where I would say I lost my mind. Yes. My coach Daryl calls them expressions. Or I don't know if it's me or him that came up with that
And
expression
these
or
things are not
expressions.
things you can explain to the next person or explain
Not
to a guy
really.
like, oh, sorry, I'm having this
I'm
hormonal.
having a
You
moment.
can't.
You
You
can't.
can't. You can't
Because
say
they think
yeah.
you're overdoing. Like,
Is that why you've been extra?
exactly.
Yeah, why you've been extra? Well, I've actually been told, oh, don't you think that's quite dramatic?
Wow.
And I'm like, no, it's absolutely not dramatic. And my feelings are valid. So I've actually had to say to some people that do not disregard my feelings. They
Yeah.
are valid. They are valid regardless of what the circumstances
So you
are.
were pushed to the point where you
I
had to
was
start
pushed. Oh, yes.
Yes.
I was pushed to the point where I had to put my foot down and stand my ground and say that, look, this is the way I feel about this situation, and you cannot invalidate my feelings. It's not going to stop me from getting my work done. I will get my work done, but you need to acknowledge that as a possible impediment or obstacle, because things may not be normal in the environment that we operate in. But on the other hand, from the point of view of leadership, from the point of view of coaching, self-development, you build that thick skin. You have to build thick
But
skin.
one would think that
Yeah.
as a director, you would have maybe little or less of all of these issues. So does it come from top line or bottom line or both?
It's everywhere, because um it's everywhere because you're dealing with all sorts of people, different backgrounds, different grades, different upbringing, different education. So people interpret things differently. There was someone I actually had to tell off if a couple of days ago. This is someone who's like an officer, like officer level at my organization, who sends me a message at 9 p.m. on a Saturday night over a matter that I thought could have been addressed on a Monday morning.
Mm.
And the comment was quite rude. So for me, it's a thing of
Wow.
don't ever talk to me like this again.
An officer.
Yeah.
And I'm
Like,
sure he
way
will know
beneath
that
you.
Wait, yeah, so
she's a director. An officer is
yeah. So I'm not even that person who's like, oh, I am a director. But I respect organizational structure.
Exactly.
Right?
As
I
should
would
be.
not talk to my boss a certain way. My boss and I were actually really good friends, but like in front of the entire floor or in front of other people, I don't call her by her first name. I call her ES.
So
That's
do
the
you think
executive
that
secretary.
disrespect had something to do with your gender, your soft
Possibly.
nature?
Yeah.
I am
so
sure
possibly.
that man is not going to talk to a man who is in that role
Position, yes.
Never.
and is more never.
Absolutely not.
Exactly.
Never.
So it had to do with gender. It had to do with your
My openness
Your
as well.
openness,
Because for me, I'm open to like open door policy. My door is literally always open, except for when I need like quiet and focused time. And I'm also one of those people who's like, look, anybody can have a brilliant idea. So please be open to speak to me
Alright.
about what you think about a certain situation. So I would even go to people, I'm like, what do you think about this concept I want to run? What do you think about doing things differently? What do you think about the way we've done it
as a
before?
director.
As a director, yeah, because
Wow.
I'm not necessarily the smartest person in the room. Yes, I have this experience.
That's humility to say that.
Yeah, because everybody has something.
And the flip side
to
is people don't
offer.
take that for granted.
Yes.
So that's what I know
They
that
do.
in that situation he took me for granted.
Mm.
He took me for granted. So I had to put him in order. And that's one thing that I've learned as well. Like you don't just let things go because you're a feminine woman, da da da. When things are wrong, you call it out immediately so that he knows that this one, don't talk to her anyhow again. I've had this happen to me in different situations. Even when I was at Toastmasters, there's one guy, we're friends now. When I think I was, I mean, if he watches this, he'll know I'm talking about him. But he was president when I was vice president education, and he was trying to push me into doing some things that I did not agree with. And I think he was surprised when I pushed back. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. Absolutely not. I don't believe in that. I will not do it. And he was like, he was shocked. So it was late that he came. And that's why I said these things are perceptions
Yes.
are very valid. I know I feel it. So because we're friends now, he came back
Mm.
and he would always come back even during Toastmasters. And I'm like, that one, she's small, but
yeah.
she's very assertive about her position on things. Don't try to play her because she will not fall into your hand.
So now looking back in hindsight,
Yeah.
do you wish you stayed in the, private organization? Or you're very happy with, all the lessons and the challenges that are coming with being in the public sector?
Well, I don't know about the expression very happy.
But it's more
But,
impactful though.
It's certainly more impactful. I'm very
Impactful.
grateful to be in this position.
Mm.
It wasn't something I pursued.
Okay.
It was something that was offered,
Oh.
and I took it. I got interviewed,
Mm.
and I mean, there was a recommendation that was made. I was very reluctant. I was very surprised by the recommendation as well, and I was like, me, why? Like, I can be bougie. I don't even speak Yoruba very well. But
Yeah.
one of our board members was like, "Oyin, yeah, Omo Yoruba ni. Why are you not speaking Yoruba? Why are you
Yeah.
shy?" Yeah. So for me, I'm like, well, it's a thing about me and other languages. I speak other languages, but I'm always shy when I speak in
Yoruba.
non-English. Even Yoruba, I speak Italian and French, but I'm always shy
Oh.
in front of the people who speak the languages natively
Yeah.
because I'm like, oh, is my accent correct? Am I
Because I'm
speaking
not-
it well?
yeah.
Yeah,
That's the
always
perfectionist.
conscious.
I'm very conscious. So it's like the perfectionist in me that does that, but I'm trying to break that barrier.
Yeah.
Especially after this director made the comment. He's like, oh, you shouldn't be shy to speak your native language. But I'm like, sometimes you guys actually make fun of my accent. So that makes me shy.
Yeah.
Yes, but I'll do better.
So something jumps
Yeah.
at me
Yeah.
when you say feminine woman.
Yeah.
So does that mean that first, what do you even mean by feminine woman? Then does that mean that the challenges that a feminine woman, I really don't know what it means, but does that mean that the challenges of a feminine woman is different from that of a, should I say, masculine woman?
Or normal or just a feminist thing?
Or
just-
non-feminine
yeah,
woman?
Yeah. I would say it's a personality thing, right? Because
So first, what is a feminine
So
woman?
a feminine woman is a woman who I don't know. I was about to say who's feminine.
Okay, let me
Yeah,
say.
please describe the question.
Who's girly?
Very girly.
Yeah, so I think a
yes.
feminine woman is someone who takes everything female very seriously
Yeah.
from
Like
the
who's
way she
girly?
talks,
Your
Yeah.
hair,
from
you're
the
soft,
she likes to get done. You know, she's very
prim and proper.
prim and proper. And I think she's a
Yeah.
soft talker. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, so those kind of women can be seen as soft women.
Yes.
And then
Feminine.
people tend to take it for granted.
And I think they're also very
Mm.
dressy.
So who is a
They-
non-feminine woman?
So I feel.
Please, go on.
No,
Carry on.
Only let's hear from you.
Me?
Only was happy that okay, you are getting this, you are
was just
helping
that
me
one.
here.
Yes.
It was
No,
just
Only
that
you go
feminine
ahead.
thing. And I don't even know if I'm
Um,
correct, but so you go on, please.
Okay, so let me give some context on femininity. So someone like me is I'm I don't know if I'm not necessarily a girl's girl or a guy's girl. I'm an everybody's girl, but I I express in a feminine way. I am
Maybe
soft.
not loudly.
I'm not loud. I tend to listen more. I think that's a
Mm.
feminine trait because that is like a maternal thing to do.
Mm.
Mothers listen, mothers observe. I think because I worked at a school, I'm a child and grandchild of educators. It's almost like in my
Hereditary.
DNA.
Yeah.
I went to finishing school in Switzerland, so it's also part
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the my education, my background. My grandmother was an exceptional businesswoman, also a very feminine woman. Like
Mm.
she was very conscious about dressing, the way her hair was, her earrings, even what you wear at home, what you wear
Mm.
to the market. She's like, you have to have like your nice market outfit.
Mm.
You can't just wear anything to the market. You can't just wear
Yeah.
that boo boo that my grandma. No, you cannot wear that.
This
She would
is
actually look
chic.
at you. I'm like, what are you wearing? So when we went to my grandma's house, we dressed well. So that's all those values are what I live by. I think about the way things come across.
Yeah.
I am very intentional about even what I choose to wear. You can say you can say a lot with the way you dress, with the way you do your hair, with the way you even walk, the way you
Yeah.
talk. I'm a Toastmaster. I think that's also a thing
That
that I'm
also
very
helped.
intentional about because I need to talk in a certain way so that I'm getting my point across. I think that is quite feminine because for men, just think about it. Like masculinity is, I think men don't think as much before they take action. So the women that you find who are not so feminine are kind of like that. Sometimes they haven't processed it thoughtfully. They have the confidence to go out and say what they
Mm.
feel, express their thoughts,
They're
and
bullish.
yeah, bullish is a good is I guess it's one word to use to describe that. But I think for softer women, we take our time, but it doesn't
Yeah.
mean that we don't deliver.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the thing that
It's just
we
less aggressive.
it's less aggressive. And so someone might say, "Oh, but you're not confident." No, I don't lack
Mhm.
confidence. Absolutely not.
It's
I mean,
quiet
I
confidence.
am quieter.
Yeah.
I might be shy sometimes, but everybody has that some every now and then. Maybe if you're in an unfamiliar environment, but I don't lack confidence. That's something that people are always surprised about. I'm like, I'm just quiet.
What do you wish to change? Like if you had to choose again, let's say it wasn't about your grandma and you had
Yeah.
to choose between being a feminine woman or just be the normal feminine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
would you say that it's feminine women tend to face more of these struggles and challenges than non-feminine women? Can that be why some women take on that non-feminine, bullish or aggressive? I'm not talking about people who are damaged. There are lots of
Oh yeah.
damaged
There's
women
also
and
that.
men out there. Both men and women. I think
Mhm.
a lot of
Mm.
women just hide under whatever cloak to express their damage.
Yeah.
I don't think it's about struggles or whatever.
Mhm.
Now, would you say that some of these struggles is part of why some women take on that um, aura of masculinity? Is it easier for them, or is it the same struggles anyway?
Yeah, I'm to be honest, I'm not even completely sure. It would be good to ask
Someone
another
like
woman.
that.
I think what you're saying is
Yeah.
do they use the non-feminine the being non-feminine
Yeah.
as a tool or as as an excuse? Maybe not excuse, I'm looking for
Excuse-
the word.
Maybe
But like a defense.
yes. So maybe like I want to say
No,
like
not even from them now. I'm saying you in your observation, in meetings, in
yeah.
conversations.
Oh right.
Do
Yeah.
women who are feminine face more of those struggles and issues than those who are non-feminine?
Okay.
There's a thing about perception, but also how you and courage as well. So what I would say is that sometimes, and this is just me speaking for myself, I would almost feel like I'm a little smaller in a room, but I need to always remind myself that yeah, everybody's on this same table. for whatever reason it is that you got to this table, you're shy on the table.
Mm.
So you have every right for your voice to be heard. I may not speak immediately, but at some point I would. And I may not even speak at all. You don't
Barack Obama. Barack Obama was the one that said, it doesn't matter whoever, you are at that table.
you're at that table.
You are at that table.
You're at that
bro.
table and you earned.
And you realize those people they're not that smart.
I know the
You know that interview.
Yes.
It was a podcast
he
like
said,
this. I
yeah, it was a
think.
podcast. He said that there are a lot of fools who are
Yeah.
running countries.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, so don't think that you don't have.
They're smarter than you and you don't have what it
you don't
takes.
have the right to be there, because there've been some situations where indirectly I've been told, like, who are you? You don't even know your job.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that was one of the days I had my expressions. But for me, it's a thing of, don't tell me who I am. I know who I am. So this is going back to that question.
Yes.
Yeah, I know
I
exactly.
find that interesting because I've never been told that, and I'm sure that you even have maybe a better profile than I do. You please stop being humble. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So if you look at it now in hindsight,
Yeah.
would you want to be a different kind of woman? Would you want to be just an actual feminine woman, or just a feminine woman without being? What's the question? Would you like to be?
Would you change anything about?
Would it change anything? Would you rather be just a normal person, or you're very okay with being the feminine, soft?
I mean, if you had the chance to change,
I am 1,000,000,000% comfortable with who I am.
I mean, looking at everything you've gone through, all the
because I'm not perfect. So, and I'm learning every day. But I am very comfortable in the person I am. I am very grateful for the way I was brought up.
Yeah.
I have no regrets, and I hope my parents will listen to this one day and see that I'm very thankful for the way they brought me up.
We should send it to them.
Oh, of course, yeah, they'll watch it. But I'm very, very grateful for the way they brought me up. They brought me up with confidence. They appreciate every single value I have. I've never been made to feel inadequate from my home. So why would I feel inadequate outside of my home?
So this is something you'd like to pass on?
Yes, so it's something I like to pass on, and I would want.
You took that question out of my mind.
So the next thing I was
let me chip it in so that we can ask because of time.
Yeah.
So what I was going to ask is, how do you then advise those who are raising kids?
Oh God, I was actually going there.
Yeah,
women,
I was literally going
girl
there.
child.
Yes,
exactly.
girl children. So I would just use a very short example to wrap that up. There was a time I went to give a speech at Corona Secondary School. That's my alma mater. I went to.
Shout out to Corona. My son attends Corona.
Oh, yes, and this was I think it was 2020 or 2021, and again, in my soft way of speaking, I gave my speech. I spoke about my experiences. I spoke about how, look, I wasn't a prefect then because I wasn't one of the popular kids, which was fine. But I saw that I had the potential and I took advantage of all the tools and resources I had. And I'm also a person of this type of personality. After I gave that speech, just when I was, networking with the students, one girl came to me and said, I'm so glad I came today because I got the chance to listen to you. And I'm happy I listened to you because I have a similar quiet personality. And I'm not someone who thought that I would have gone anywhere by being quiet. But to see how much you've been able to accomplish with this personality, I'm encouraged to continue in the way I am. So this is a shout out to any woman who is quiet, any woman who is very feminine, who has been told.
It's totally okay.
It is, you are phenomenal. It is completely okay to be exactly who you are. Just know that you have a superpower. You just need to know how to use it.
And invest in your depth.
Invest in it. Invest in it 100%. And you'll be grateful for it.
Wow.
All right.
That has been so amazing.
This is one of those moments you wish you were a woman and you could just say, oh, thank you so much for encouraging us. But I'm not a woman, so I'll leave it to Kate to close.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Oyin. Like what you've said is a reflection of what a lot of women go through. Because you would not understand that there's an actual difference between a feminine woman and sometimes the women who are not feminine have been pushed not to be feminine because they've been told that they're quiet. You should be loud. You should be, you should. all these things, but to be solid and be original
Mhm.
and just keep at it. That's amazing. Thank you for
you.
sharing with us.
Thank you very much.
And I
Thank you so
appreciate
much for
that.
coming back again, Oyin. I'm
Thank you for
sure that
having
we're
me
going to have you
again.
again one of these
Again.
days.
I'll be happy to be back.
You know, it's always so
Yeah.
interesting having a conversation with you.
Yes.
Ladies
Okay.
and gentlemen, we've come to close for another session of the Failures Diaries podcast. Remember to follow us on all our social media pages. Kate, you want to read it to them?
Yes, please. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for watching today. Like I said, we always have interesting guests and we always have stories that will be mind blowing. Today, thank you to Oyin for just spilling out all the teas. It's been fun. Don't forget, guys, if this kind of stories resonates with you, please subscribe to our channels, leave comments, leave feedback, likes, find us, look for us on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, and just keep the engagements coming. Thank you guys for watching. And until we see you again.
Bye.
Adios. Bye.
Bye.